Good evening, everybody. Hello. Hi, Martha. Setting up here. Make sure everything is perfectly right. As you know, we're doing Barry's God of War. Now, I promised last night that I would break out the Faber-Castell pencils to show you how they work as opposed, not opposed, I suppose, but if they work as well as the Prismacolor wax-based pencils. And I can say that I have brought them out. I have a set here of 72. And oh, there's the third row. Okay. Wondering. There they are. Aha, there they go. Move my beverage of choice, is water. And lo and behold, God of War. I guess what I'll do is I'll pick a section to do here. Put that over there. And making room for pencils that I don't usually use. But that's okay. Okay. There we go. I'll message out to everybody. Hello. Anyway, here they are. In all their glory. This is Faber-Castell. Castell. If you pull one out, they say on them, classic color, Faber-Castell. They are fairly wide. Yeah. There we go. These fairly wide leads in them. And they have a no roll octagon, not octagon, but six-sided, that is. And what I'm going to do first, however, I'm going to pitch additions to the armor. I decided to put Just making some small changes. Which isn't a problem at all. Take off what's not needed. And I'm going to, they're in shadow, so the first thing I'm going to do, down a layer. Now these are the polychromes. Okay. As you can see, go down nicely. No problemo. Okay. That's layer one. Try to put them back nice and ochre. 822 on the Faber-Castell pencil list. Truthfully, so far so good. One nice. Don't have that creamy. But far so good. I'm sorry, this is not the first time I've used them. It sounds like it is. I've used polychromes for a long time. I don't usually mix the two together, but for this experiment on camera, live, I'm giving them the shot. So you can see. Now they don't put the actual color on the pencil like Prismacolor does. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't bother me because I don't really look at the color that much anyway. I look for the color of the barrel. Unless the color of the barrel is off, which happens. I think I pointed out the espresso a gray color. Kind of throws me. Doesn't really matter. And this one is 880 Faber-Castell polychrome. Nice rich color. I have no argument. No argument at all. Lovely rich color. It's so lovely. It's so lovely. Oh, you're hearing me sing. Now I'm layering on a very light 802. blue. Of the gold. That seemed to work fine. Now I'm going to go into some of the darks. This is Fabric of Steel 871. I would think you need to be a little bit more correct color charting on them if you don't know what color it actually is, because you can get fooled. Exactly what happened to me. Espresso. Prisma. Every time I look at it, it looks gray. The nuts are gray. I'm gonna fire in a little bit of orange. Ochre color. Gold. Okay, so far so good. I'm liking it. Maroon. Dark gray, sorry. Yeah, the only problem is they don't give you the percentage. I don't know. Gonna have to experiment a little. This is a brand new set I've got of Fabbers. I can't remember if my other ones have the percentages on them. I'll have to look. See. Good job. What I'm going to do is for light. No idea what that's including the colors. Really? I don't think I've ever used. Not that I can remember. Now I'm going to push it way down in the shadow. No, I'm not going to do that. Sorry. I'm going to go highlight it. Now, as you can see, heads do not break. Trying to get a highlight in, not as harder. Not as subtle. Mix out the I'm using a multi-pass method too. Very little pressure, but lots and lots of repetition passes. And it's working up. Far so good. Fire it way down. Darkening. Dark part of the shadow. Getting a nice waxy feel with them right now. Now they've got these colors built up. Thanks. So far, so how does that look to you now so far? Yeah, no complaints. No complaints. But as I said, nothing wrong with polychromes. It's just kind of you prefer to use. Some people love them because I think they like the fact that the pencils don't break. So getting it that far with polychromes, so now I have kept my promise, and you've seen them in action. Now the next step will do they mix with the prismacolor. Oh, we shall. And lo and behold, as you can see, you have no problem at all. None. Zero. So if you want to use combination of the two, go right ahead. You've seen it in action here first. Well, not first. Seen it in action. And now that you're looking at it, I think it looks good. And the experiment has been a success. Dr. Frankenstein, it lives, it lives. It's alive, it's alive. It lives, it lives. Finishing off these darker tones, like I told you last night, you go right up to the pull back. What you think? Do you like it? Does it look good? I hope so. I really do. I really, really do. Now, we're into this armor, and I'm going to build up some of the color to it. First thing I'm going to do, I don't want it warm under here because his chin comes right up to it. So I want to put down some my trusty indigo blue for all the reasons I mentioned. A myriad number of choices what to do once you've got indigo down, lights and darks. It gives you an immediate dark. Really nice. The rich, rich color. Now I want to make it really rich. Give it a hint that there's down here there's a glow. And I also want to go over here I want to establish some real darks or got some here. I want here darks and base plate of his helmet. Oh, the drama. Over here, what some of those darks start playing off darks against the and we here darks that last night, but I did darkness. Now it's hidden the foreshortened arm. And we have two colors. Count two colors of some sort of a chainmail armor. quite chainmail. Kinda chainmail. I think I just made up a new word again. Chainmailing. Here. Start there. This section here. Okay. So as I said, it's like a chainmail. So what I'm going to do is going to take some dark gray, 70% gray. There we go. And I'm going to put a light coat gray down top of this chain. Now again, I've got a bluish color from the markers already down. I'm not worried about it just being gray. Is the whole point putting down marker first. So there. Take that. Now it's got two distinct lines here where the armor overlaps. I'm doing that. I'm establishing. I'm just pressing just the tiniest part. Actually highlight. So I'll adjust it now with gray. Okay, so now I've got that 70% gray. So I want to go, I'd like to go up to about 90%. No. Where did my 90% go? Where? Well, it's here somewhere, Pilgrim. Aha, 90%. I knew it was here. Okay. I make those overlapping troughs a little darker. 90% gray. You'll notice that I'm not into the black as yet or anything like that. I'm leaving almost all those options open. And the obvious reason is that I have those options. If I didn't leave them open, no options. So I'm not at the very lightest, and I'm not by any means at the... What's really helping this section is the undertoning of the bright blue marker. exactly which one I use, but slate blue really do a job. I gotta admit. Look at that. I mean, I haven't even touched blue. How good it looks. Grays on top of it. I mean, magic. You're new to colored pencils. You haven't tried this. Please watch and see how it's done because it will literally change the way you do art if you really like colored pencils. Because you can get effects you just can't get. Well, every time I make a statement like that, I think of somebody who's done it. And yes, you can, but it's an incredible amount of work. I've done it myself, and it really it's an incredible amount of work. And also too, one of the keys is the size you're working in. Now, these are 9 by 12 sheets of Strathmore paper, illustration paper. That's what I'm using. If I was ever going to go with really, really close details and whatnot, like I've been mentioning, I would use, I would make it the picture much bigger. Then it gives you more blending options and not so much blending, but color gradation options, which is the key. Really, it allows you to blend more and throw more colors in. Like I'm very happy with. So there's 3 almost identical colors here so far. So what I want to do is I want to make sure they look like they're overlapped a little bit. And so, hi Chevy, hi there. How you doing, man? I'm just explaining. I hope you missed. Did you miss the front end of the show? I used some polychromes in here and did some highlighting with the Prismacolor to show that you could use them together, blend them, and do all your neat stuff. I was using the fabric pastel colors, and uh, it works good. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's just that I hate to call myself an old dog, but I've used a lot of polychromes in my day, and that's a brand new set out of the box, out of fabrics, and yeah, they're good, but they have a different feel to them for me anyway. Well, I think for anybody. I mean, I love that waxy feel of Prisma. I was rooting through my art stuff today to pull some colors out that I'm getting a little short on, like this. Get some new pencils out. So I went into the art vault, my art vault, and got some get the colors that I needed replaced. It kills me too, because some colors I had so many of. Give you an example. Back in the day, like that, this Prisma is made by. This is barrel made, which was previous to Sanford. So I've had this pencil a long, long time. Premier. I don't know why I pulled up Dixon Ticonderoga. I don't know why I was thinking that. But I pulled all these colors out, which I'll add to the mix here. And I do have some other. Oh, that's what I wanted to show you too. I do have some Derwent's Studios, and copper bench. Never heard of that. But I pulled some out. I'm just seeing if I can find one here that I can add into this mix. Well, there's a Derwent Studio. I'm looking for it though. Note to self. Yes, there was more than one. Where are they? No. I'm sure I brought them over. Because I could specifically grab them. Show you guys. And girls. By the way, I just wanted to say something. I got the surprise, not the, I don't mean surprise, like, well, there's more, but right now I don't know where I left them. I did dig them out. I wouldn't have put them back for it. Let's see. Oh man, that's nice. That's a Derwent. As you can see, it's a nice pencil. The lead isn't quite as thick as you'd find in a Prisma, but it's a nice pencil, and that's what they look like, and that's how they come. You can see them. And that's a polychrome pencil. So just to make perfectly clear, it is not wax based, it is oil based. But again, it doesn't matter because they mix just about perfectly together. Perfectly. I'm in the zone. Oh, you're only okay, 5 minutes ago? Oh, okay. So I was just showing you the Fabers. This is the, I use them on here. There they are there. And that's the polychromes. And I dug out a few Derwents too. So because as I said last night, I wanted to show everybody what they look like and if you could use them the same way and all that neat stuff. And yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. That's the answer. You can do it. You can do it. Yes, you can. I'm throwing a little bit of black grape in here on top of the 90% gray, just so when I do a little highlighting, it'll pop up a little bit on the purple side of the genre, which is kind of what I want. You know, the more colors you can sneak into a piece, the better it's going to look for you, really. It really will. And yeah, it looks like oil paint, really. That's why I like them. One of my favorite things, to be honest, to do is oil paint. The trouble is time. I mean, I have to really sit and decide on a piece to spend the amount of time. And usually with an oil painting, unless it's huge, you're working on more than one piece at a time because often you're waiting for it to dry to get the right medium down and stuff like that. But I used to demonstrate oils for Grumbacher, so I have a complete set of Grumbacher Max. I used to demonstrate because I used to demonstrate their Max line. The Max line is their water-based. Yeah, everybody knows that, right? There's water-based oil paints now. I mean, it's been a while, but I still run into people that don't know that. So if you don't know that, you should not necessarily any reason why you should. Um, really, the artists are kind of get to know what you use, and that's what you use. You never look outside of the. You never kind of look outside of the area of comfort. I'll put it that way. And that's not unusual, and it's not even a bad thing. Just that that's the way it is. I've talked to people who have painted with oil paints for 50, 60 years. They don't even know you get water-based oil paint. You can believe that. I mean, if you're younger than that, I can perfectly understand because you may not have run into it. Somebody's been an oil painter their entire life, didn't even know. Wow. I mean, it's I'm bad enough, I admit, but that is really bad. You should once in a while take a look and see what's out there. Because they're making the reason I say that is they're making improvements all the time on stuff, right? I mean it's not like it's not like it's just that's it. Okay, we're over. We're never going to do anything more again. That's our product. Come and get it, like it, whatever. Um, Not at all. I mean, really, it's they're always there's always variations on a theme, and it is strange. Hey, first get the. Oh, by the way, I'm going into a 10% French reason my headset didn't notice. I'm very carefully putting down these lines. Armor. Like I said, it's not chainmail, but it's like chain. Giving a cool. Wow, that looks really cool. Lighten it up. Darken it. Can you guys see that? Wow. What a neat effect. That sure worked. So there's another row up here. I'm using, like I said, 10% French gray. Right into the whites. And I'm specifically giving them a little bit of a turn. They don't look like they're straight up and down like a picket fence. Armor. Okay, did that work good? Oh, I know what it looks like. Yeah, I know what it looks like. When you put um, see the guys in the movies and they've got those bandoliers of bullets and stuff? Kind of looks like that. They don't look like bullets, mind you, but I mean, it kind of looks like that. Where this comes to. Left that intentionally to get that in there. See there? He's coming together just really nice. Remember, it's still 10% gray. Now, I really, really like that effect, but what I want to do what I want to do, go into where it highlights, which is like along here now. I'm into white now. Through this section. Not quite as much on here. I'm going over the ones I've already done, just to give them that 3D look. Okay? There we go. Okay, give it a little brush off here. See what it looks like. So what you think, folks? Did it capture it? I think so. I think it just looks about right to me. Okay. Now, there's another piece that comes out of here. Oh, and again, I'm into the 10%. And the same stuff comes down here. And for that, I'm going to reverse it. Why? Because in the light, lines now are still there, but let me guess. Yes. I have gray. I had espresso. What do I have to do for that? I ban you. Oh, ban you. So I've reversed it there. So that's like it coming down. And also this, the top of this is all in, so it's almost like like the, you put like a cable knit sweater or something on, something like that, you know? You're only 23. Well, and you don't know about, and you don't know about, and rightly so. You're not that young. You're young. I mean, you're not that old. Um, so let me tell you about oil paint that I used to demonstrate for Grumbacher. Well, Grumbacher came out in the early 90s. Well, what? Let me explain the whole thing. Then it'll probably make it better to easier to understand. In the 90s, people started going. Everything you could think of was toxic. Toxic this, toxic that. This was going to kill you. That was going to kill you. This was anyway. It was just like a movement almost. Okay, I got all my grades here for that. So what happened was people stopped using oil paint. And the reason they stopped using it was because of this constant. I realize that white is like pencil gray secret wild. Yeah, exactly. And make sure you buy a box of them when you go to buy them. But anyway, I was saying about oil paint. So here's what happened in a nutshell. So you got all these people screaming about toxic. Slowly but surely, you talk about it on the news, the newspapers, the radio, and it wasn't so much internet back then, but anyway, the word got out like, oh, it's really bad for you, this stuff, and it's ended up that the oil painters started doubting that it was really good for them to use oil paint, and the reason is they used turpentines and stuff like that to clean the oil paint off their brushes and etc. etc. So what happened was, um, those paint sales started to drop, and that caused a general panic. Let me tell you, in the paint business, oil paint business, and consequence was paint was sitting on shelves. Well, we can't have that. So Grumbacher, the best of my knowledge, it was Grumbacher who did it first. At the time, the company is called Max Grumbacher after the guy who started it. But then somebody bought it, then somebody bought them. It's like one of those fish keep gobbling up one after bigger, 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 bigger. Anyway, who knows who owns it now? But it used to be Grumbacher. So I knew somebody in Grumbacher, or they knew me, or vice versa, and they called me and said, "We've come out with a new product." And I went, "Oh, really? Okay." So this has had happened before, so I wasn't that surprised. But I was surprised when they told me what it was, and I said, "Yeah, we have a new oil paint." I said, "Okay." Uh, then it's my job to say why this oil paint's better than that oil paint, and on and on and on. But anyway, no, they said, no, 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 this is completely different. We'll bring you in and show you. So they did, and they showed me it, and at first I couldn't believe it. I get the paint out, and I mix it up, and I do it, and I put it on, and it's oil paint. And they said, watch this. I took the brush, stuck it in like a glass of water, and rinsed it off. It dissolved. It was like one of those, the alchemists, the old guys in the movies, like, I'm turning copper into gold or something. I went, what the? Is, is that water? Because they had brought out terpenoid and stuff that was odorless. I thought, oh, it must be it. And they said, no, no, that's just regular tap water. I went, unbelievable. How the H did you do this? Was my first question. And they told me they what they did was they took the linseed oil molecule and let the chemist play with it. And apparently linseed oil on the molecular level is made up of, the best way they explained it to me was like two hooks. One hook grabs solvents, which is turpentine and that kind of stuff, and the other hook grabs water, and the ratio is about 60-40. Well, they got rid of the 60, which was the like the turpentine uh, part of it, and remade the an all of the 40%. So you still had linseed oil, but you had linseed oil that was water soluble. Ta-da! I went, and then they just mixed the pigments into it, and I went, "You've got to be kidding me!" They said, "No." So here's what we want you to do. We're going to send to you our entire line. Thank you, and pay you. Even better. So what I did was at my house I ended up with a like 3 boxes, big boxes of everything you would ever need to oil paint. Like there was easels in there, Max Grumbacher easels, and all the paints. I forget how many colors there was. Oh, dozens and dozens of colors. The full range of Max. That's what they were called, Max. And palettes and oh, you name it. It was just like I didn't have anything. But I guess they figured while I was demonstrating for them to use every product they had, which makes sense. So anyway, I got it all and I did a couple of paintings with them, got really familiar with them, and there wasn't really much to get familiar with. The only thing that I found was if you're in this, it was the summertime, and if it was the summertime and you were working outside, that the paint needed a few drops of water every so often in order to keep it really nice and moist. Where it really, and that's not a criticism, because you would do the same thing really with oil paint, regular oil paint. But then they brought out not additive. They brought out stuff to fix that, like mediums. That's the word I'm looking for. Mediums. And you can get every medium. You can buy the linseed oil, water-based linseed oil. You can buy all this stuff in the art store. And away I went. I went to all the art shows and art store, and I set up and I did my demo and showed people. And as I said, it was like, "Are you kidding me?" I wish I was. No, it really is. It's water. Some people came up and smelt the stuff and made sure it was water. I mean, why would I lie? Like I mean, anyway. So the reason I did this is because, like, in schools where they used to teach painting, the government made them get these huge extractor fans, and it's poison, and you have to have the fans. You gotta have this. You can't have that. And it got worse and worse and worse over the years. Now, needless to say, it probably wasn't great for you. But you know what? I mean, I went to art school for a long time, and let me give you an example of art school. Okay, we're taking a regular oil painting class. So we're all in the class. So say there's about 30 of us in this huge room, and we're painting, and and the instructor's walking around to each person's um, painting and giving some tips and advice, what to do, how to do it, a regular teaching environment. Oh, there we are, French grade. Um, so let's say it's a winter time and the door's closed. There's 30 of us. Everybody and their uncle back then smoked. Well, I don't hardly remember anybody who didn't smoke. Anyway, so the door's closed, the windows are closed. It's cold outside. There's no fans. We're all using turpenoid or some not turpentine then. It didn't have turpenoid, and we're all using these chemicals. And what happens is that the place is like toxic. And can you imagine the smell? Like, oh yeah. At the time, I'll be honest with you, I kind of liked the smell of it all. But I guess today you grab for a gas mask. But, and this went on like on a daily basis for years. And but anyway, this constant or endless thing against any kind of solvent just completely took over, and the sales went through the roof. And the reason why the schools liked it was when the government finally gets into it, right? And they say, well, if you're going to do that, well, you need the right kind of like a C35-9 fan, extractor fan, all of this stuff and regulations and all this stuff. Well, if you were using water-based oils, you didn't need any of that. None. So oil painting eventually made a comeback, big time, because really, um, oil painters who moved over to acrylic. That's why you see so many extenders in acrylic and stuff like that, because the oil painters went, wait a minute here, I left it for 10 minutes and it's all dried up, and I mixed that color up to use it, and you know, like unless you think about it, that's what happens that's what happens with acrylic. You got to know what you're doing. So what happened? So those people, when they heard about it, moved right away back into oils. They never looked back. So now, if you go into the art stores, you'll see that the regular oil paints are sitting there, and the water-based ones are the ones that are always getting sold out. At least here they are, anyway. But the amount of paint I see for sale in some of the big stores that are online, like Dick Blick and Cheap Joe's, big American stores, they're they're online all the time. So specials on them. They're always trying to push the regular oil paint. In a way, it was too bad. Like some of the really good oil paint companies, there's a company that was named Stevens, Toronto. They only made um, regular oil paint. They really suffered, and they were incredible. It was incredible paint at half the price. Every art student knew. And this everything's going to kill you routine went on and on and on until they succeeded in getting rid of all oil-based paint. Like if you go here to a Home Depot or something, you can't buy oil-based paint. You can only buy water-based. I mean, the cans of paint. They don't even sell it anymore. And the reason they said was because, well, and once the government gets into it, then you've got a problem because now there's special interest groups, and now you've got people who lobby and want to get rid of somebody else's product so they get more. They only can sell. Or well, it worked. Let's just say it worked. And they gave them fair warning. Don't get me wrong on that. They told them like in next year there'll be no solvents or oils or whatever. So it worked, and now everything's solvent free, even your house. And I'll be really honest with you, like paint's never been the same. Now I don't mean this well, somewhat in oil paint, but regular paints, they've never been the same since they took the lead out of it. That's right, you heard me. They took the lead out of it. Way, way back. That's when everybody said that, there was children getting poisoned eating lead. And people said, well, how are they getting the lead? Like, how's that? And they said, oh yeah, well, they're eating the paint chips off the walls. I swear to you, that's what they were saying. I went, oh yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, kid stands there and peels paint chips off the wall, and eats it and gets lead poisoning. Yeah. Like, how many cases were there? Oh, one in North America. Okay. Well, anyway, this became a big deal, and first they took the lead out of paint. Now, the minute they took the lead out of paint, the covering and durability of paint dropped by half. Now, the reason why, when you see those shows on House and Garden TV, and you get these big designer guys, and they're making paint, getting paint, they're painting a room a certain color and all this stuff. Those guys aren't going to Home Depot. They've got guys making their paint for them, and guess what? The lead's in the paint. Really, it is. You get it made up the way it used to be. Why? Because it was better. And it lasted, and you could get fabulous colors. The colors were true. You could mix up, once you knew your formula, the painter, the pro, he could mix it up in much as exactly what you needed and you wanted. Yeah, it costs about $100 a gallon to do it now, if not more. But you can still get it from. So there are people who just refuse to change. You can buy it, those type of guys, but that you can't sell it commercially. That's the thing. And that's the way it was. It's perceptions, It's going to kill somebody. Well, show me the person that kills them. I mean, to be honest with you, like I grew up in a house that was painted, and they were all lead-based paints. Never ate chips off the wall. The rest of my family didn't, as far as I know. They're all still with us. And anyway, you just, as you get older, you just learn to put up with it. There's no escape. Get something in people's minds, and I can remember. You see this little technique I'm using here to get that kind of mottled look in this buckle. I'm doing that because it's like beaten. When you beat over stuff, get it darker. Cherry, black cherry, and then I'll go back over with black. Give it a bit. Anyway, you watched the Art Revolution? I was there, man. I wasn't just watching, they were paying me to be part of it. I'd be honest with you, I don't mind any changes as long as it makes things better. And people in general will do things and get really behind things because they're convinced it'll make things better. It's not for a long time do they find out that they've been lied to. And then when they get lied to, they get cynical. They get lied to so much. I mean, in general. That's why, you know, the kids of your generation really kind of don't believe anything, and I don't blame you. I mean, every day something comes out. I'll give you an example. Someone I know as a child who's got a rare disease. And I don't remember, but anyway, I was reading about it in, oh, I think it was Scientific American or something like that. So they were proponents of the formaldehyde at certain levels was toxic, which it is toxic to human beings. And the products they were listing that had some formaldehyde in it. And I'm not talking like a bottle of formaldehyde. I'm talking parts per billion. So I went, damn. I wonder if he's seen that. So I emailed him the information. And like I knew he probably would be, he was on it already. And yeah, all that's true. I went, oh God, thank God. I kept reading though. He goes, all that's true except for one thing. I went, really? What can that be? The toxicity level of formaldehyde only becomes deadly to a human being when it's at your body's at like 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, what does that mean? That means you're not waking up. Because the regular temperature of a human body is about either 96.3, I think it's 96.3. That's the temperature. So if your body's down to that low a temperature, no, unfortunately, if you are in a position where you're not waking up. So in other words, it was all BS. It was only dangerous to dead people. Can you imagine? Oh, God. God. But then I went back to the article and I read it thoroughly. And they never, ever mentioned that. So, what happened? Letter to the editor. And about 2 issues later, they published some information regarding that. I thought, oh yeah, that's great. How many people are gonna see that two editions later? Not many. Which really kind of soured me about scientific. Don't get me wrong, I still read it, but check their sources now. I don't take things for granted. Matter of fact, you can only get light. Anyway, this all started out with the art revolution, oils, to acrylic and then back to oils. Oh, oh. Now I'm only giving you what happens in and around Toronto. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there might be no water-based oils in, say, Arizona or something. I don't know. Just telling you what's around here. I don't know about the rest of the continent. No clue. Trim them. Okay, and now we're up to this little section here, which is like, oh no, I'm right, okay. I made an error, sorry. Didn't, not worry about it. It is a good thing to review your notes. Yes, sir. Aquant life. And just here a little. I think I'm going to tone it up a little bit over here. I'm using French gray for sure. And it finally occurred to me, getting your pencils off Amazon and it's wintertime. Your pencils are probably cooling down really low inside those trucks. So I'm starting to wonder. That's the problem. Everybody knows. Put these in cold. The wax in cold gets very brittle. These are wax. Thinking. Because one set breaks and one set doesn't. I wonder if it was left overnight in a freezing car or truck or van or something. Could have. Like, I don't know. Maybe it did. Maybe. I don't know. Don't know for sure. Can't tell you. It did occur to me. Okay. This is a color I pulled out. Now, this is like an older prismacolor. the original, like straight barrel. One of those ones I had in the archives, but my bin of art supplies. I go, and I went to look up this, and I couldn't find it in the current list of colors. So the plot thickens. Did they change the name? That would happen. Or did they discontinue a color? Which also could happen if the pigment becomes too expensive to make it. Which? Don't know. Tomorrow I'm gonna go look. Prismacolor website. Take a look. Because as you can see, that is one nice color. It's so perfect for what I want here. I have a few of these pencils. What if I want? If they call it something else, that's my guess is they've called it something else. Which isn't unusual, you know. There are a few colors around that nobody ever changes the name of. But you know, when you're in colored pencil work, um, it's not unusual. It can become confusing because polychromes might call one of those like neat colors one thing, and Prisma, for instance, might call it something else. So you, oh man, what am I doing? That's why it's a good habit to get into. To watch the colors, you know, like look at the barrel of the color, give it a little test run to see, you know. And if worst comes to worst, just layer one color on top of another to, which isn't the end of the world. There we go. And now on flare out really. And you're right, I'm not going to do French. Skip the French. It's a step I don't really. This will do. This is white on top of slate. Oh man. I'm really glad I grabbed it, because now I'm going to use this color all the way up the arm over here to be straight. Okay, so I'm moving down around the bottom now. Down and around the bottom. Aye, laddie. Not stopping. Flare out. It gives it, when you flare out like that, it gives what's underneath it some volume, which is kind of what you're looking. And he's coming along nicely. Very nicely. Now, he goes flat up against Feel Dark. Now, I've made it a little bit easy by getting real close to the line. I'm going to go back in with black. Cut the line really, really tight. So it looks like a plate, which is exactly what. Now again, I'm not doing this right up to the line like that. And I want to give it a little bit more intense color. So, oh, here's an old. On this one. Ultramarine blue in there and give volume under kind of what you want. And cooler over here. I'll put back of there. This is all designed to give it depth. Okay? That's what we're giving it depth. Okay. Lots of grays to be used down here. Now these kind are just lines. It's a little dark. I'll go the 50% on gray. Let's the indigo blue under first pass of marker. You know, given watching, it gives you all those options. You don't necessarily go right to black. Let's not chain me some sort. called it. I don't know what it is. Over here. Yeah. So the spots, and you don't have to be super careful. Well, you do have to be careful, but you don't have to be like, oh no, I put it in the wrong place, because remember, you're going over this. Over it again. Eh, There we go. Now he's got tons, gray armor stuff. I'm gonna go in now with cool gray. I'm going to change up the color, shadow on top of the, which you've seen me do before. Color over to here. It's going to be really fun when this guy is doing the highlighting. There's so many points of light everywhere. I mean, oh man, it's just going to be fun. And every day you're drawing is a good day. Every day is a good day. Light over. Again, I put down the over top of this area. I put down yellow marker like I did with this area here. Saves me having to layer too. And it gets darker, darker, darker. Get it up here so you can. There we go. Sorry about that. Arcs in. Got the chain. In this okay, fellas? I hope so. Alrighty. Now, sharp pointed. I can contrast it. Righty. Okay. Now what I gotta do is put in the highlighting. So there's gonna be two sets of highlighting on here, one in white. Give it a oh man, that's looking. Remember, no. You too. Now I'm going as fast as I can to download the videos all over to quick speed so you can go through them fast to see where you want to learn how to do it if you want to, or just watch them. I haven't done that in a while. I have a YouTube channel and I'm putting them all on my YouTube channel. You can see them. And so I did like everybody. I upgraded to Windows 10 and all that neat stuff. I go, that's great. So I go into Movie Maker in Windows 10, and lo and behold, there's no Movie Maker, the program that I used to use to do that. There's nothing. I go, this can't be right, because I know how to use the blasted program and do it like without even thinking. Zoom, I know how to do it. I figured it's like Photoshop. You know exactly how it's done. So I go, where is it? So do a little web search. Yeah, Windows 10 doesn't have Movie Maker. Why not? What was wrong with that program? Well, apparently, I guess they've moved into something else. I couldn't find any movie making software on Windows 10. So I dug deeper. What did I find out? Aha! You could still use Windows Movie Maker, Windows 10. I went, Yahoo! But you had to download the app, download the part of the program to make it. So went to the Windows site and downloaded it, and there it was. Now they don't support it anymore, which simply means I guess you don't get updates or new whistles and bangers. That didn't bother me, and the reason it didn't bother me was because I knew how to use it. Because I don't do a lot of video. I do Twitch, and I want to make them all the episodes a bit quick speed so people can see them and go back to the full ones. And so I mean, I don't need a lot of whistles and bangers. And I got it back. Let me tell you, I was like, what? And they never seem to stop. Guys in Silicon Valley, it never ceased to amaze me. You talk about the stuff like it's the best thing since sliced bread. you convince everybody to forget everybody else's version. Go and use theirs because it's the best thing since sliced bread, right? Oh, okay. And you go, well, yeah, it's Windows, I got Windows, and so I might as well use theirs, and they support it and all that stuff. You come back a few years later, and it's gone. And when I'm doing like I've just taken some reference photos or something, something I want to look at later or whatever. What I used to do is I would just quickly take my disc out of my camera, and the little SD disc, and I just downloaded it to Picasa. That would put it up. And it was Picasa was not like well, it was a photo editing, but it really wasn't that big a deal. It was just a little program that would quickly take some of the crap out of the photograph that you didn't want. I mean, it was handy. So as Windows 10 comes out, Google kills it. I go, why? And now they want. Well, now I know why. Because they want you to do everything online. And this new um, Pixio or something. Well, let me tell you. So, what did they do? Well, they killed Picasa. Just one of the fave programs I was using. I said, why do you do this? Like, how much effort does, how much to keep up a program that, if I'm using it, there must be a ton of people. Because yes, I'm a photographer, but I don't use as programs for serious stuff. Of course not. I use Photoshop. But I don't use Photoshop every 15 seconds. So, what I did is they had some really automatic features that really took some of the crap out of your photos really fast, which was why I liked it. It's true. I mean, you could take a photo knowing you could run it through Picasa and fix it instantly. So you could take more shots. Even when the lighting conditions weren't perfect. I'm talking about really quick shots, not what I'm doing on do a photography shoot. I want to start selling. I want to sell the pictures, just the quick stuff. And yeah, they stopped supporting it. And every time I go into the place, it's like a tomb. Like there's nobody there. It just feels deserted or something. I don't know. So anyway, I stopped using it. And I hemmed and I hawed, and I went, oh God. So a friend of mine, artist in Belize, he goes, yeah, I went through all that. So I decided I would stop it all. I said, well, what do you use? And he goes, because he's a very good photographer, especially florals. God, he can flowers fabulous, effortlessly too. Actually, I've painted a few of his pictures taken. He does such a good job. Oil paintings. They do last. I think they were orchids. I did some orchids. Anyway, they were so I said to him, I was telling him, I was having this conversation with him. He goes, yeah, I went through all that crap. So, do you use Photoshop? He goes, no, I don't use it. Too expensive. Well, I always use Photoshop, so I never said But again, Photoshop is one-stop shop, right? I mean, you can use it great, but it's a big program. And what happens to me is I put in a mediocre photo and I do a few things to it and I go, oh, wait a minute, that looks pretty good. And pretty soon I'm working on a photo that I know I'm never going to sell, but I'm just doing it to see if I can do it. And it's one of those like mental, yeah, Shep. Oh, you're back. Good. Nice to see you. I'm talking about Photoshop here. So I use Photoshop for photography. That's what I use it. That's really main interest for me in Photoshop. So anyway, I'm talking to this artist friend of mine in Belize, who, as I said, is a fabulous floral. Um, he takes just unbelievable shots of flowers. Able to get, because flowers are a pain to shoot, right? Any littlest little bit of wind or anything, and petals move, and oh god, instead of the patience of just setting it up, and not so much anymore with digital, but you can imagine what it was like when it was back in film. Yike! Which I just happened to uncover in a box that I packed away from my gallery. All my shots I took when film cameras were still around. So yahoo! I found all of them. So I'm gonna scan them all in. And yeah, when you were using film, let me tell you, you weren't just shooting away. You weren't hitting the shoot button like take 30 shots and pick the best one. No, no, you had to make sure that it was okay. Otherwise, man alive, it would cost you like, wow. It would cost. I remember one year I spent $1,800 in photo developing, which just really was $3,600 because I made a deal with the guy who had a Photoshop down from my gallery. If I took him all my shots, all my little canisters of film, and he was exclusive. He could show some. I'll just say that in a hurry. Show some of my shots in the in his photo studio. He had a photography store. He'd do them for me half price. So it was 1,800 bucks. I remember looking at the bill and going for the year with the accountant, going, man. Now I say that, but it didn't really cost me that because I was selling the photographs. So, but anyway, that was the cost against what I was selling them. So what happens? Okay, let me tell you, we go digital. I had a Canon 650, two main lenses. I had 35, I think, goes to 70, and 70 to 300. All automatic, everything. Great camera, loved it. I now have Nikon, a digital, a DSLR. But in those days, it was like DSLR, only they were film. It was a Canon 6, great camera. In their day, they were an expensive camera because even the 300 lens was totally automatic. It was really fabulous. So anyway, um I was saying because of Photoshop, so I was talking to him. We went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he says to me, he says, I said, well, what do you use? And he goes, I use Corel Draw. I go, you mean like Corel from years and years ago? I didn't even know they were still around. Really, I didn't even. I mean, that's a blast from the past. Let me tell you. When you say Corel, yeah, That is an old company from early days of the internet, and they were really big. They had bought Lotus Notes and WordPerfect stuff that migrated from um, XT computers into Windows, computers, and those are two companies that basically were too dumb to know to move frames. They were all keyboard oriented instead of mice, and people moved slowly but surely until everybody went over to Word and Excel. But they had the market for a long time. But anyway, Corral, they bought up all that stuff and all those companies, and they Lotus, Lotus 123. Maybe you remember that. You've heard it. Okay. So anyway, I go back and so I go, okay, man. I mean, that's amazing. And I go, well, where did you get it? He goes, well, it's online. As usual, he was right. It was online. And I go in and look, and yeah. So I go, you know what? Looks pretty good to me. And he's showing me his corral on his computer. He's going, you see, I just use this and this, and man, it's. I'll be honest with you, it's much simpler. It's the same as Photoshop, 90 plus percent. The only thing is they have some features on it that are really, really handy. Like if you're a photographer, and man, do I mean handy. Um, what's a for instance? Uh, well, in their automatic adjustments, for instance, which is what you want to do if you just want to take a bunch of shots and do everything automatically, so you get the shots you want. It's because you may be looking for architecture as opposed to getting the light right. You just want the lines of a building and stuff, like stuff like that. So he chose me, and I'm telling you, I was blown away. I'm not without a word of a lie. I was absolutely in awe of these automatic features it had under Adjust Photos, and it had all the features, same features as Photoshop. So I'm going, oh no, don't tell me I gotta learn something new. He goes, no, use your Photoshop, but just use this for that. I went, yeah, well, I'm asleep at the switch. Yeah, of course that's a good idea. So I bought it, and I'll tell you, it is good. Now I think you can even try it for free for 30 days or something. But let me tell you, and 100 times better than Password. I'm not kidding you, 100 times. And it has all those extra features. So once in a while, by mistake, I've got a really good shot that I've taken, and and it's on the same SD disk that I've moved from the Nikon into my Nikon. What is it? One with the long lens. You go up to like 30 or 40 on the lens. Incredible long distance you get on this little digital lens. Anyway, I have one of those. So that's for my use of my quick shots. But often I'll interchange the SD disk if I've got them all in one place, really. So what I did is I started I got one in one day, and I couldn't be bothered opening Photoshop. Oh, I know why, because it was on one computer, not another. So I couldn't be bothered taking the shot and going over. So I just started playing around with it. And yeah, some of the stuff's in different places, like when you want to layer or merge or stuff like that. It's not different. It's just in a different place than you're used to looking. So I played with it. Man, I'm telling you, I'm happy with that. Now, I don't get me wrong. Photoshop is still my go-to program, but man, for the other features, one of the reasons I like Photoshop too is because you can get the plug-in features. You can buy special features for what you're doing. Like if I'm doing portrait shot, and I don't know if you know this, but when I'm saying portrait shot, I mean a portrait I'm going to draw. So in other words, I'm really, really looking for angle and light pattern, what looks best, um, that kind of stuff. So I'm doing that. I use Photoshop for that. And as I say, it's the plugins. There are plugins that are specifically designed for just portraiture. And I find that I can set up shots for painting about as perfect as you can get. The right resolution, the right size, the right lighting, the right barrel, lighting distortion, effects. Oh God, anything. It's endless. And once you know how to use it, it's it's just I I'm I love Photoshop. But it just shows you. I one time was remarking on the guy's shots. I was at a show and I was remarking on his photos. I said, "Really nice stuff." And we started talking and said, "Yeah, well, what do you use?" Like, because I basically shoot raw, so then I convert raw over. Okay, so that's what I do. And he says to me, "Well, uh, confession to make. I use uh, Photoshop Elements." I said, "What? You get this out of Photoshop Elements?" He goes, "Yeah, it's all I know how to use." Now, Photoshop Elements is Photoshop's like kind of streamed down or something, and it doesn't cost everything. And it does work good. It doesn't work for what I want because I can't find. I don't think you can get the plugins for it that I'm looking for. But by God, it sure works good. I mean, good. Yeah, it seems to be coming together okay, Chef. Oh, I see it. Chev lover. Ah, okay, so you like Chevys. I've had a lot of Chevys in my day. Way back, the first one I ever got was a '64 Chevy. I love that car. Anyway, so it just goes to show you, like people, that as I say, the biggest surprise I ever got was Corel Draw. I think it's Corel Draw 8 or something. But anyway, gotta tell you, it's good. It is good. Don't know if you can get plugins for it. I don't know because I've never looked. Because I have the plugins for Photoshop, there's no reason for me to look. You might be able to. I don't know. You'd have to look. But Corel Draw and Alive. And I know why my friend used it because some of the features it has are like the most perfect features ever for doing uh, flower shooting. Like really, there's especially one feature in there. I went, oh man. Years ago, I shot a lot of flowers. Never drew that many, but I like photography. There's a real market there. I know it sounds you capitalist artist you, but you got to make a living, right? So I would go wherever on a calm day with no wind. I'd head over to, would always go to a municipal, someplace, town or a city looked after, because the flowers were always perfect. And in the wintertime, I would go to like the indoor flower places they had, get exotic flowers. I would shoot a lot of that. Still have all the shots. And the reason I was doing it, you have no idea. If you don't know that market, you have literally no idea how much people love flowers. Like it. And don't get me wrong, I like flowers. I have to like them because I shot so many. I must like them. I do like them. But I'm talking like passionate about them. I remember one time I did a painting of uh, flowers. I don't even know what they're called. So much I don't know if they look. Anyway, I did the painting and the vase. Oh man, I took time on. It had sculpture on the vase, and I painted it so this, like the appliques on the vase, look just like perfect glass, and the reflections and the stems of the flowers through the glass. And oh man, did I work on that vase! And it's hanging in my gallery one day, and I figured, let me see that vase and say, wow, do I want that? So one day, lady walks in and she's admiring. Oh, love it. You captured that and all this. She's not saying I'm assuming she's talking about the vase. She wasn't talking about the vase. She was talking about the flowers. And I was like speechless. Like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. The flowers are good. Oh yeah, yeah. It took me like 15 minutes to paint the flowers, and it took me like a day to paint the vase. Boy, what a good lesson that was. Just goes to show you. Love the flowers because everybody's got their, like everybody has like their favorite flower. You find this stuff out when you do flowers. So in the fall you do mums, for instance. Now I know I brought over. Oh, I did bring it over. Okay, there it is. Original Premier Cream fly deep. Anyway, so like in the fall I do mums and stuff like it. And as soon as the mums died off, people would go and look for buy them. They like them. Remind them of the fall. As you get into early winter, in the spring you do a lot of tulips. in the middle of summer, people always love roses, no matter what you do. Do roses like their style. It's a whole genre, and did well with it. But, I'll be honest with you, I kind of got tired of painting flowers. I mean, after all, I know there's different kinds of flowers, but it is variation on the theme. Flowers got petals, stamens, pistils. They're all a little different. But I got tired of it. And until I painted those orchids in Belize, I don't think I. Oh no, that's not true. I had done a few. I'd done some lavender stuff like that. I hadn't done a ton of it. That's what I'm saying. I just hadn't done a ton of it. Not like yours. And just got everybody's got to sort of challenge themselves. That's kind of why I like doing this kind of art, to be honest with you, because it's always different. No two things are the same. Like, even when it comes to armor, like this armor is way different than armor that did for Loki, or then you get the guy like God of War. That guy, um, his his armor was completely different again, and that's just the way it is. But it really gets so you like the art. Like, it's always different. That's what I'm trying to say. Always fun. Yeah, I think I can paint that, or I think I can paint this, or kind of stuff. Um, fun, 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 fun. Eddie took, which is you gotta have fun when you're drawing. If you don't have fun, and art is a job, but it's a job where you gotta have creative, and you can't turn it on and off like a poster. You gotta have creativity, and you gotta have, which is kind of why I like this, because that creativity always there. How to render. That's what I like. How do you draw it? How do you figure out how long it's going to take? What color's doing? What what am I going to do? How am I going to think? That's the artistic process. I think every artist has to have that. Don't have it. Just another job. Really good at it, but just another job. I always think that kind of shows through in the work. I can go to the art museum, pick out pictures. I know the guy just did it for, just selling to some lord or something like that. Because he needed the cash. Okay, I get it. I get why you did it. And you don't see any effort, just like they're going motion. And which is why I like life drawing too. I don't do it as much as I like life drawing as well, because Well, it come in all different shapes and sizes. So it's always a challenge how you want to render. And let me tell you, I did it. To do good life drawing, you have to do a lot of it. I spent art school because they had a model every day, right? Because it was school. I spent tons and tons of time. It was always in the morning. And I spent tons of time life drawing. I was always there. Teacher got to know me. Hey, get this first. You know, when you get to know them, that they and know you're really interested, start giving you really good tips. Uh, One of the tips I got was the vanishing line in life drawing, which is a really and truly a fantastic tip. And simply, it was where you kind of didn't draw, just didn't even draw the line. It was just there. Your eye filled it in. I can't give you an example without showing you, but that's kind of what. And I really and truly, they really knew that you were interested. You got more and more information, tricks. Talk about a genre. You need to know the trick. What poses not to do, first of all. Because I can remember sitting there and, they would hold a pose for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. The real good ones could hold it for half an hour. And if they would go, usually they let them take the pose they wanted because they knew which poses they could hold. So I remember sitting there and working away, and I wasn't drawing the figure. And a couple of the students beside me went, "You're still working on the last drawing, aren't you doing? Aren't you doing the pose?" I said, "No." And just then the artist walked by with the instructor. And he looked at my eye and went, "Good for you. Bad pose." I was listening. I was listening. Oh, don't do bad. Into the game. Most of the bad poses were all to do with the way the light hit the body. I mean, if you change the light, you might get the pose might be okay, but it all depended on the way you didn't necessarily wasn't necessarily the model's fault. We had north light and studio, but if the lights were set up a certain way, like he wouldn't go up to the instructor and say, "No, no, no, don't do that pose." Wouldn't do that because if you tick off the model, they don't hold the pose. That's the problem. They don't pose at all. Or you'll hear a sigh like, oh, and then you knew. But when you had a good poke. Different story. Different story. Maniac. Like a maniac. Okay, I'm gonna get in here. Oh, that's nice and bright, eh? Oh, yeah. Gold. Dark first. There. So, there's the lines. What I'm going to do, backtrack and I'll go back into my indigo blue, go over that 70% gray line, indigo. So I've got 70% gray and indigo blue. Pretty dark. As you can, not black, but it's pretty dark. As the armor changes here. Now what I want is I want a beaten look. Giving it, you go, beaten armor. Going down each one of these. If you ever see a coppersmith work, you know what I'm talking about. You know, they take a hammer from the inside and they bang it until they get it. Well, that's how they did armor too. Armor, all different angles. A tank had to fit to the body. Had to fit to the body. No matter what. If it didn't fit to the body, right, you couldn't move. So how do you move your sword and all that neat? Light's kind of rounding out the about dark. Pressure on. So it looks like mail. That's what I want. It's not chain mail, but it looks like me. Beaten armor. You do these little squiggly doodads all through it with a very sharp pencil, like that. And you can even go into the highlighted parts a little bit like that. It changes. Give the indication that they're there as well. Okay, now once you get that done, you want a light color to go on top of them. In this case, I've got 10% cool gray. Where have you heard me say that before? 10% cool gray. Seeing this, okay. All right, what I'm going to do, lightly now, I mean lightly, over top of it, right? Put the color in. Color because it's gonna sit. Now over here, it's lighter. Put a little heavier lighting. Liner go. Really. Oh yes, you say, hey, it looks kind of blue. But it's not done yet. Give me a minute. Cool gray. I'm looking for green gray. Get that. Or did you? I know I had it because I had it in my hand. Specifically, no, for just. Here's one I did. Grayed lavender. Oh. So now what I'm going to do, because this does catch a little bit of the light, I'm going to go very pale cream yellow. See that? And you go, oh no, he's taking modeling. Oh no. End of the world. No, it's not. Just wait. Wait, I'll show you. Young man, if you'll just wait a moment, we will be right with you. There we go. Now I want to put it back in. So I want a dark gray to put 70%. But here's 90%. Okay. And those little curly Q things going again. Bring them up. Up here, they fall into I'm going to put the shadow on. Very lightly as they come down. The whole thing is not in light. Just where it comes out here. Now in order to get that, I have to go into the black. Because that modeling won't show with the 90% gray on. But that's okay. You lose the detail anyway. Dark. Dark. See detail. See the logic? You kinda see it, laddie. You kinda see it. There. Holes. See now, even with the black, I've got that indigo blue underneath, so I'm not getting black, black, black. I'm getting a mix of the colors. Exactly is what you want. Give it a richer look. The whole point of this is to make it rich, like an oil paint. That's exactly what you got. Now, how are we doing anyway? No, okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to highlight that. Pardon my vanilla vape. I can't. And carefully. Rose. Drop little bits, pieces of highlight into where the light. I could spend another half hour getting this exactly. I could spend, but there's no need to. And the reason there's no need, because I know very well how I'm going to put the highlights in this. That, some Copic ink. Copic ink, absolutely perfect. Or nitro. See? See now. Aries is happy with it. If he is not, bird, he'll hate me, vote me. The sword, Connor. You see how you do that? I'll give it a bit of brush. See how it looks looking. And And the last pass I'm going over this. Give a dual dark to light look. I know this is rather intricate drawing, but you're seeing it slow so you can practice, go over it, try it a few times. If you're going to try this, I would suggest just taking a piece of paper, good paper, but paper nonetheless, just giving it a shot. Just do the little bit of it. You get the look. Once you got it, now you got it. No more problems. There we go. You see how that looked now? That look. You got highlight. Down to the armor. Looking good to me. Put another tone. I did indigo blue, so I'm black as well. So the gold is washing out the flows. The gold. And lo and behold, let me see how that. Yeah, you get model looking armor, which is what you're looking for. I'm really happy with this size. So now the last thing we're going to do is the arm. And the arm will be the final thing to do on this one of Ares, God of War. So I'll give you a little bit of a highlight, closer how that looks. There you go. So you can see it. And I want to thank everybody tonight who's watching. Everybody who's watched. Chevy, it's been great talking to you, man. I really had a good time. I hope you really, if you're an artist, I hope you learned a lot. And if you just love the figure, that's okay too. Because I'm doing more of them. Not this particular one, but I'm going to do more. I'm going to do more of Warframe. There's another game I'm going to do a guy, and then I'm going back to a guy from Warframe. But I'm really happy so far. He's looking. I gotta tell you, I just love this right on here. I got the gold exactly the way I want. Get this arm on and the foreshortening. See how I do that? And all will be well. I'm changing it slightly on the hand here so you can do that as well. But it looks good, and I'm going to cover them up now so nothing gets onto them. I thank you for your patience and look, and you guys have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. And we may go till we just finish it up. Have a great day. It's been a pat. It's been fun. I enjoyed every minute. Thanks a lot.